Hi, this will be a short video on what's new in HMK Toolkit version 1.2. This is an update that I made today, and I haven't had the time to update the online documentation, so this will be something to help you start without the documentation. One of the first thing I'll mention is that on the Silverway pre-gens, there are now inside the app the official artwork. Thank you, Walt, for that. To see those artwork, though, you're gonna have to delete the current version that you have on your application. This is because of the way this is handled internally. So you delete the 3 of those, and then you go to file, and you press the option menu, the control menu, and then you get add pre-generated characters, and and you will get the new version with the artwork. One other thing that's new in this version is that if a group is already created, you can't create groups here. But if you have, for instance, the On the Silverway group is already created, you can just drag and drop the character to change them from one group to the other. That way. And you can, of course, collapse the window here. So one of the things that I did is I created a new setting called narrow mode. And by the way, in the setting, there are now explanation for what each of the settings does. So the narrow mode is to accommodate smaller screens. And what it does is it tries to reduce the size of the wider windows. For instance, the development window is quite wide, but if you engage it in narrow mode, it will compact it, and so you can reduce the size of it to within the minimum size, which is this size, about this size. And it works also in the tracking panel, where it compacts the header, and it shows 3 characters wide instead of 4. So it removed those sections here. The tracking panel now has a disclosure button for either the terrain types, which can show or hide, or dice roller that I implemented. This has a limited history that's moving sideways like that. If you roll a D2, you can have, it shows you if it's left or right, if you're rolling to see if the right shoulder or the left shoulder was hit. There's also a new edit weather, shows the value internally that are used to show the weather, exactly as in the rule book. So it's each day has 2 D10 roll, 1 for the temperature, 1 for the rain, and 5 for the continuous precipitation, if there are. You can re-roll for the day, and or for the whole year, and you can enter your value as you want. In the calendar, I removed the list of ceremonies. So again, so you can have a smaller window if you want, but you can show it with this disclosure button here. The NPC is the same exactly, except that you can change the width of the panels. There's only one handle, but they all change the same way. You can also either show, the occupation or the name of the NPC. And if you have a bigger screen, there's no limit in the number of character you can show. And there's a new campaign panel here. You can have any number of campaigns. For a campaign, you need to, if you create a new campaign, you have to enter a 4-letter code for it. You have a name, a description, and then you can associate characters with it. So, for instance, these are my players and their character and the description here. The description supports Markdown. So if you want a name to be bold, you put asterisks on each side. You can look Markdown on the internet if you don't know what it is. You can have any number of notes. Notes can have just a title or a title and a description. The description also supports Markdown. Notes have a date, and they can be shown on the calendar if you want. So let's say I edit this note. If you click show on the calendar, it will be shown on the calendar as the shorthand for the campaign plus the number of the note. So if you look at the 14 here, you see that it's under the Watchful Eye campaign, and it's the note 5. So you can use this for reminder. For instance, if you have elixir that need to be rolled for strength reduction or any other notes that you want. You can, if you switch campaigns, of course, it only shows the note for the current campaign selected. So you see the under Watchful Eye campaign note was removed here. When you create a note, you just add a note and you enter the value. At the end of the session, you can automatically create an end of session note, which writes the current real life date and time, and also when the session ended in the world. You can create various notes, and you can sort them by either by number or by date. And if you enter them in not by date and you want to reorder them by date, you can press this button here. In the association between players and character, if you click on the button, you get to the character sheet directly. On the character sheet, there's a few changes. Let's take Asdar instead. So all the sections here are collapsible. Wilfred. Okay, Wilfred. If your character carries one of the weapons that is listed in the thrown weapon section on page I think 111, there's a new thrown weapon section that appears with the corresponding values. If the character carries an elixir or a fire pot or a quicklime pot, those will be shown here as well. You can show that here. Let's say Gravelore has. Let's go through the. It's going to be easier. So quicklime pot mixture. Let's add that to Gravelore. I don't want to manage kind and put it in this bandolier belt. So you see here, he only has elixir here, but if I add a concoction, he automatically adds a quicklime pot here with the value for those. And a quicklime pot is a ceramic pot, 2 quarts for the thrown weapon, and it manages the skill and all that. The mounted value has been moved here. On this page also, you have a on the line with the strength modifier, I show the actual strength, and on this line I show the strength impact modifier. As shown elsewhere, there's now a primary and selector here that you can use. Depending on the entedness of the character, this will be green or purple. So this is right hand for the sword, and since he's right-handed, this is green. But if he swaps his sword to the left hand, it's going to be this color. Or you can use the weapons two-handed if you want also. This is useful because I've now implemented impairment, and you can have impairment in the right hand and not the left hand. Let's take an example with Wilfred here. Let's say he has he uses his weapon right hand. Let's say he has an impairment to the right arm that is 15, let's say. You see that his mastery level here is reduced. It's now 55, but it's normally 65. The unmodified ML is 65. And this is reduced by the this is the round shield, right? His spear is now 50 because it's a 55 minus the 15 impairment. The shield that is not affected, which is in the left hand by automatically the opposite arm of the sword, is not affected by the impairment, but is affected by the offhand modifier. In the offhand, it has a heft of 15, which doesn't give him any penalty normally, but there's a minimum of 10 impairment in the left arm, except for a block or a press roll. You can look up the rules for that. So in this case, if he wants to have a better chance to hit with his right arm, what he would do perhaps is switch his sword to the left arm, which doesn't have the impairment, so he has a better chance to hit here. Or he can use it two-handed, and in this case, he has the impairment also, but he has the improved impact here. So if you see the impact is modified if you use it two-handed, and the heft is also all modified here. For the thrown weapon, you have this button, and the same for the missiles, and this is the target moving indicators. So if it's green, the target is not moving, and if it's red, it's moving, and this changes the ML here. And again, you can close any of those sections that you want. And as you saw, there are now rollers for every ML that you can use. If the target is unmoving, this will include the precision tactical advantage automatically. If it's non-moving, it changes the ML, and it doesn't include the precision TA automatically. So we can roll all the, if you roll a press, for instance, the press roll, it rolls a d6, it gives you the result and gives you the explanation for that. There's you can roll the attack, and if it does it, you can roll the zone dice. The zone die is as list the D6 and the D10. And if you have, let's say you have a precision TA, you can have another roll, and you disclose it like this. So it doesn't re-roll it, it's already rolled. And you only get it if you chose to press the button. In the case of the missile, there are two, because it might be you generally have another automatic precision TA, so you can have two of those actually, and in this case you see that it automatically saw that it rolled the same zone die as here, so he rolled a second location die, which in this case is still the same. But you can roll impact also for any of the weapons, of course. If you need to make a shock roll, you can press here, and it's gonna make a shock roll for you. If it's a glancing blow, you can press this button to change the EML accordingly, and change the result if necessary. If you need to make a shock reroll, you press this one instead. It includes the penalty and some information here. You can make an awareness test, an initiative test, a dodge test. You can also make eating rolls here. I didn't show this button, but this is to reset the value. You have to select the area you're affecting, and then you can increase by 5, decrease by 5, or set it to unusable if you have a grievous injury, for instance. And to remove the impairment, you press this button here. There's also some help if you have, for instance, now if you have fatigue, there's a highlighter here, because I always didn't see the fatigue, but there's also a reminder of the rule for fatigue recovery if you click on the fatigue header here. The impact header has the rules for special effect of injuries, so glancing blow, mishap, bleeding when it's black for edge, the S3, and it's also the impalement threshold, and you have the injury mishap values here. For the shock state, you can get their effect by clicking this shock state here. And now the shock state are individually selected also. The gear, you get the list of values and a reminder of the wealth of the user. On the position, you get a detail of the melee weapon and the containers, which includes the reduced weight for backpack, for instance. I think that's all of it on the second page. On the first page, all the skills can be rolled. As we see, also I've put fatigue here for Wilfred. If you are in the skill area, you have to click once to kind of activate that area, and then if you press the option key, all the skills which have an EML different from the mastery level are highlighted. In this case, since he has fatigue, all of them are highlighted, and they now show the EML. And if he rolls riding, it's going to use the effective EML, of course. And this is not shown here, but it includes the always 0 to 5 chance and always 95 to 100 chance to fail. So all the skills are rollable, all the attributes are rollable. It shows you if it was a skill test, the result of that, and if it was a skill value test, then it gives you the skill value here. There's also fate rolls. Fate rolls are, if you make a fate roll for instance, an attribute test that you did, there is no modifier for that. So in that case, you click on the fate button here. Otherwise, if it's a fated roll for one of the skill groups, you press on the header for that skill group. So if, for instance, if you were doing a melee roll and you want to fate it, you press combat, and then it includes the modifier for that sun sign modifier here, and it gives you the result here. I think that's about everything on this page. In the character menu, there's now the new check bar character spell selection. You open this, you select a character. Normally you use that when the character is created, but you can use it for any character. Let's say Kiran here. Kiran is a Jmorvi check bar. He's a hold character, so his ML is 80, and he has 80 ARP. This tells you which are the unassisted research convocation, which are the assisted research convocation. You select the quality of the entry and its convocation, and all the values are updated for that. For each convocation, you know if it's the primary, secondary, tertiary. The sun sign modifier is listed here. The ML for the convocation ML is here, and how it's modified. This is the complexity level plus the convocation difficulty. And for each complexity of spells, it gives you their ML and the cost in ARP. So you can see exactly what how much it costs. This is all modified by the quality of the chain. It takes into account that if you have enough verism ML high enough, those spells will be free for you. And in the case of this character, is he has natural attunement, so this reduced the cost of primary convocation by half, and you keep the fractions. And also it gives you some information on artifact creation. The cost of those are modified by the quality. If you see, if you're in a lower quality entry, it's going to cost you a higher number of points to buy vessel, for instance. And you select spells directly by convocation. You can also choose to invest ARP into a major or minor artifact with a critical success or not, and this is computed here. This is a Jomori character, so he did create a sword for him. And you just select spells by clicking on them, and it shows you, he already made his selection, so he didn't have any ARP left. He has spent 80 out of his 80. So if I select something, but I have 4 below, so I need to remove another spell. And when you're done with this, you just update the character spells, and it would be updated. So you can load a character that already has a spell and change the spell selection, and then update the character, update the character sheet, and it will be shown like this. And you can also roll for spells, of course. So that was a characteristic var. In the utilities, I have a list of abbreviation. That may be useful. It includes the new armor sets tool. You can show any armor that is in the book, but you can also create your own sets. It will show weight, encumbrance, bulk, and perception. I forgot to talk about bulk, but I'll talk about it now. There's a new automatically calculated bulk and layer encumbrance in the system. You can't edit yourself bulk now, and there's no over DQ button to press. All of this is automatically made for you. If you add too many pieces of equipment, you'll get a here's a tiller. Get a warning. I'll show you this. So let's say he has. Say I had the plate helm. There's a warning here that says that it's invalid because you cannot have a kerbal and plate at the same location. So it doesn't prevent you from doing it, but it tells you that there's an invalid aspect here. If you add too many quilted, he has a quilted coat. Let's say I got quilted man. That's also invalid here. Let's say I put the padded tunic. In this case, you see that it added a bulk and an encumbrance warning. So it has now 10 bulk, and it included another amount of encumbrance. And you can click that to see the additional encumbrance, and it's because of the quilted coat over layer. And if you click on the bulk, it says why you have bulk in this. And in addition to those indicators on the character sheet, there's also an armor validation window which you can look at to have all the information given to you directly. Okay, so the armor set, when you make an armor set, you can, first of all, you can see what's included. Sorry, we can see what's included in it. You cannot modify the rule book armor suits, but you can duplicate them and then start from there. So you can't modify this one, but you can duplicate it and then call it something else, and then you can change, add a gambizon to it, for instance, and then save it with a new name, of course. And when you're done editing the armor, what you can do is you can now edit NPCs, and in this editor, the third combat skill here, you can use any of the armor sets that you created. So, for instance, here he uses the brigand outfit, and if you put a name that matches one of the sets, the NPC will will display the corresponding body location table automatically. So this name here should fit one of the sets. It shows this. Otherwise, it's going to show just normal clothes. So let's show the edit NPC table. This is Travis here. You the name and occupation. You can select height and weight. Oh, there's a double weight here. Need to step. It computes the move automatically. I added a role-playing queue to the standard list of details for the character, the NPC. And you can add, occupation skills, a personality, and any number of hidden motives that are shown here. The hidden detail usually include the skill test to discover this. And you can create any number of those and then use the armor sets that you needed. And you can have an NPC panel here, but you can also have a new NPC window, which you can have side by side while you have your character sheet displayed and the tracker. If, for instance, you you have this Travis character here, you can have also his character sheet here, which shows the body location. What else is new? So you have armor position, edit group. Edit group is the same as before. Edit wither I showed before. There's an entity diagram. It's a tool just to show, I'm always mixed with what's a spirit, what's a being. This can help you maybe. I have a list of miscellaneous tables, which shows the secondary modifier, the strength impact modifier, the default EA for weapons, the skills, and the skills rating for the stars. There's a new persuasion window, which lists all the related information. You can load a character, and it highlights all the MLs of this character, and it shows you the strongest and the second strongest. And the persuasion routine, you can disclose those for more information on fluency and secondary modifiers. There's the place circle platea I showed before. You can show the Varic wheel if you need. The region and language tool is the same, but I added the foreign accent index here and a small explanation on how to use this tool. There's a written work tool. This is another one of those windows that are affected by the narrow mode. If it's narrow, you can reduce the size here. This shows you can select a character, for instance, Elben here, who has a lot of languages in script, and it tells you the scripting rules, which it's a script success value test with both language and drawing as secondary modifiers. So it's all taken into account in here. The reading is a language script, so this is here, and a repeat of the language complexity here, and the writing routine here with the results here. The IR tracker is basically the same, but you can now right click to add a condition. The side panel is by default collapsed. There are a few more things in it. You can also now have it at the melee routine separately. This is exactly the same thing as as this thing, but in a separate window. So maybe you can have it somewhere else, have it more, have it open to whatever you need. And this is smaller and cleaner. There's a roller now on this, which is probably where you're going to use it more. And again, if you want to know if it's the left side or the right side, you can roll that. When you add, you can now add any NPC that you created. For instance, if I add Travis that we talked about earlier, it will add him with all the information loaded. It will also automatically create a game master's note with his name, his action ML, the information basically that was in the combat section of the NPC. And I think that's all there's new. That's new in the. Oh, I changed the width of the injury here, so it's you have more room to put the injury in here. And there's a weapon summary, which is the included the file included into the free download. So you can look up. You have to be careful. There are some errors on this page. And I think that's everything. The PDF export now works. Oh yeah, there's now import character is now here in the file menu, and you can back up all the characters at once. So you press this, you select a folder, and it will export a JSON file for any character that you have in your roster at that time. It's a good idea to do that on a regular basis. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any question, you can, ask them on the Discord. I'll be happy to answer your questions.